Iran launches a drone strike on Israel. All right. That's the headline right now. It's very, very unsettling, especially when we had peace in the Middle East not too long ago when Trump was in office. Biden's been silent on this. Haven't heard anything from him at all. Don't expect that. He's not going to have much to say. Really, he's funded both sides of the war. So thanks to our tax dollars, the Iranians have the money to pull these things off. Sending about 400 to 500 drones to Israel. I want to read this article here. It's a little bit sad, but I want to go ahead and just give you guys the information I found here. Air raid sirens sounded across Israel and the occupied West Bank, and Israeli officials urged people to seek shelter after Iran launched dozens of drones towards Israel late Saturday night in an attack that marked a major escalation of conflict in the Middle East. Iran had vowed to retaliate after an airstrike on an Iranian consulate in Syria earlier this month killed 7 Iranian military officials. It is the first time that Iran has launched an attack on Israel from Iranian soil, Israeli officials said. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said the attack also included missiles. U.S. forces in the region were active in shooting down drones, a U.S. defense official said. By the early hours of Sunday morning, interceptions by Israel's anti-missile defense system were seen over populous areas, including Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. The Israel Emergency Medical Service, Megan David Adam, reported at least one person was injured, a 10-year-old child in critical condition in the area of Arad, a town near the southwestern edge of the Dead Sea. This is not a coincidence, guys. I don't know if you're paying attention to this, but in Israel, it's not like in the United States. In Israel, when the sun goes down, all right, whatever time the sun goes down in Israel, until Saturday sundown, we have the Sabbath, Shabbat. Everything closes. Nobody works. People are home. The streets are like ghost town. And that's all the way across Israel. All right, that's on the Sabbath. So this is happening, which is a holy day. If you read the scriptures, the Bible says to observe the Sabbath day and keep it holy. This is a day where we worship God. This is a day we spend with family. This is a day where you don't cook, you don't do any of that. You just rest. You rest on the Sabbath. I think most people know that, but in Israel, they really actually take it serious. They rest on the Sabbath. In the United States, we're shopping, we're doing all sorts of stuff on the Sabbath. We're not supposed to be doing according to the scriptures. So it's so biblical, it's not even funny. I mean, I want to go ahead and play this clip from Fox News, though, get a little bit more detail about it as I'm checking the story out myself as I'm showing it to you guys. So let's go ahead and roll this clip here. I'm going to play that. Take a look.
Hey, John, good evening. We've got a lot of updates for you here in this developing story. We'll start with a new directive from Israel's Home Front Command. This is the organization linked to the military responsible for communicating to civilians here. They are telling civilians in the Golan Heights, also in Israel's southernmost city of Eilat, and in some smaller cities and towns close to the Negev desert to stay near bomb shelters, an indication that Israeli officials believe this initial wave of drones is going to target the northern and southern parts of this country. We also at this hour are reporting on a new statement from Iran's permanent mission to the UN. There was a post put out on X, and as we speak here, you can actually hear an Israeli jet going overhead. But there was a post put out on X by the Iranian government through their permanent mission to the UN. That post read that they have conducted the matter, saying it could be deemed concluded, an indication that Iran wants to try and contain their response to the Israeli strike earlier this month on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria, that killed 7 members of Iran's IRGC. The question now is whether or not the Israeli government and military will accept this event as over. Remember, these drones have not yet reached Israeli airspace. We don't know the true extent of the attack yet. There is no indication at this hour, despite reports in Iranian media, that the Iranians have fired ballistic missiles. There are some other reports that indicate cruise missiles could be part of this attack. Once Israel determines just how broad of an attack this is, the war cabinet that is still meeting at this hour in Tel Aviv at the Kiryat, Israel's version of the Pentagon, will ultimately launch their response. We do understand there will be an Israeli response to this attack against their territory. The question is what that response might look like and what type of coordination is currently being conducted with the American forces that are operating right now out of the Middle East. John?
So, Trey, these reports that Iran fired ballistic missiles, those are coming from Iranian media. And so far, there's no absolute confirmation of that, because that would be a game changer here.
Absolutely. It would be a game changer. And it's important to note Israel does have the air defense capabilities to shoot down such missiles. There are a variety of missiles the Iranians have in their arsenal. The Shahab ballistic missile would likely be what they would use in a situation like this. The range covers all of Israel, but Israel has an advanced missile defense system called the Arrow 2, and also they have a later version of this system called the Arrow 3. Now, these systems have been tested, they are extremely efficient, and they have the ability to shoot down these advanced ballistic missiles. This system would be used by the Israelis if the Iranians ratchet up their attack. And if that does take place, as you've noted, it would be another step up on an escalation ladder that is already being climbed by both the Israelis and the Iranians. Earlier this month, as we noted, the Israelis targeted these Iranian generals in Syria. Go ahead, John.
Well, I just wanted to interrupt you for just a second, Trey, and I apologize because you're doing terrific work under difficult circumstances, but the video you're seeing on your screen right now is footage taken from Iraq of the Iranian drones actually flying over Iraqi territory, presumably on their way to Israel. You can see that the flame column coming out of these things is pretty significant. They throw off a lot of heat, and it's fairly easy for the interceptors to pick up on that heat signature and bring down these drones. So it is hoped that no matter how many dozens of them have been launched, perhaps 100, perhaps more than 100, that most of them are going to get shot down by some of those Israeli systems that you talked about. Again, that footage from Iraq after Iran, for the first time ever, launched a series of strikes, launching dozens, maybe hundreds of cruise missiles to fly over Iraqi territory and on to Israel.
Yeah, what are we doing? Like, what's going on here in the state of our country? I mean, you have to look around and say, what in the world is happening? Like, they don't want you to believe that, this is all happening under Joe Biden's watch. But it is, okay? It just is. And there's nothing they can say to, counter these arguments when we bring them. And when we, bring up the fact that, there were no wars under Trump. There were no wars. I want to read some of these comments here on the MSNBC because, there's a mixed bag here. This is just under their, they're reporting under the Iran attack. And so his first comment, here we go again. None of these news media mentioned Israel's attack on Iran embassy, right? Netanyahu is responsible for this. Israel is out of control. Like Ukraine said, karma is cruel. Well, we can't say Iran started this one. Don't go to war, America. Don't do it. This is the people of MSNBC. Don't do it. Just don't do it. President Trump, 0 wars. Genocide Joe, World War III, right? Biden, Iran better not touch Israel. Iran, laugh out loud. Watch this, right? Yeah, they exactly. They take him for a joke. Joe Biden's a joke. He's an old man eating ice cream. That's what they see. He's just a very soft individual, and people can tell, man. I mean, the world leaders. These people are very powerful around the world. They know what they can get away with. They know what they can get away with, and the lefties know this, man. They just don't care that much about war. They abort their babies like that. They don't think about things the way we do, and that's just the fact. They don't care about life. So when you're talking about war and Israel, first of all, they don't read the Bible. Okay, they're not. Most of the lefties, they don't read the Bible. They're not. There's a lot of atheists on the left. Okay, so they don't have a clue what's really going on from a biblical standpoint. This is all biblical, and Iran is a part of the plan to destroy Israel. So they're our allies. Israel are our buddies. They're Israel. We're supposed to actually help protect them, but we're not supposed to be getting into senseless wars. You got to have the right guy in office who can create peace in the Middle East, so people know not to do these kind of things. That's the whole objective. It's just like carrying a firearm. Okay, they want to take away your guns, in the liberal cities, but the whole idea behind carrying a legal firearm is that, hey, look, I don't want any trouble, but if you give me the smoke, I'm going to give it back to you. That way we have a mutual understanding that even if you try to take my life, yours is going to get taken. Okay, there's a good chance that you're going to have a hard time with this. Another analogy, it's like, you're going to go and rob a store. The owner of the store has a pistol. Well, if you know the owner of the store has a pistol, you probably won't want to rob that store unless you've been taking some crazy medications. Okay. And then you try to do something stupid, but that's the whole idea, is to present yourself strong as a strong nation, as a strong individual, so you don't worry about these problems. The enemy's going to think twice before he tries to do anything stupid. That's the whole idea here. But with Biden in office, they know they can get away with it. He doesn't know what's going on. And his administration, a bunch of teenagers in their basement somewhere, it just have no clue about what to do. And they said the grown-ups are in the office now. No, grown-ups don't let other countries fight this way. We create peace. Real men, real strong men, we don't ever have to go to war. All right, not unless you come and attack us right here on our soil. You want to attack, nobody's going to attack the United States in that way. All right. When 9/11, these people flew an airplane into a building. I mean, we can get into a long discussion about all that, but nobody's gonna be able to just directly hit us. So there's proxy wars right now. There's Ukraine fighting Russia. We're funding some wars. Our allies, our buddies are getting blown up. Instead of the United States getting blown up, instead of Russia getting blown up, they're sending their buddies to do their dirty works. So Israel did get attacked first, all right, on the Sabbath, by the way, all right, to make the Christians mad, the so-called Christians, to make to get us all upset because, we fund Israel. We send something over there, some crazy amount of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, every year to Israel. All right. That's the reason why they got the Iron Dome. I think United States played a big part in helping them get that Iron Dome so they can protect themselves, catching missiles, shooting missiles down if they were to come in. Because people want to take Israel out. Why? Because that's God's land. That's a holy land. It's under attack always. So this is all, as I said, it's all biblical. This is all in the scriptures. And reading the libs' comments, they have no clue. There's every once in a while he's a F Joe Biden. He's on vacation. People are upset when they don't want to go to war. They don't like war. All right. Any sensible person wouldn't like it. Plantation Joe said don't. Right. Russia will help Iran with everything and anything. See, like I just said, the Russians and Iranians. I'm looking at the map here. They're pretty close together. We're all the way over here, but this affects us. So don't think that it doesn't affect you. We're playing a major part in all of this. All right. We're the United States. We're united. There's a lot of different kind of people here. All right. So, and they all live here. All right. So they all, like we have a lot of Muslims here. We have, which I like. Anyone. It doesn't matter as long as you're not a criminal or a terrorist. We don't have a problem. But we're the United States. We have a lot of different countries. Here in the United States, they bring their cultures here. So we've got a balancing act always here in the United States. Someone says any second now, Trump will come out and say, if I were president, this would have never happened. Wait and see. No, but he's right. He's being sarcastic, but what he's saying is absolutely true. If Trump did say that, he said it a number of times. He said it a number of times. It wouldn't have happened. It didn't happen. They said that Trump literally was going to blow up the world when he got into office. Joe Biden fears that we would get in a war with Iran. Well, we're not in a direct war with Iran, but he's absolutely funded the Iranians, which give them the money to do this, to attack our allies. So it looks like the Democrat Party has funded these wars. They are okay with Iran. Like I said, our allies are going to war with each other. So basically, the conservatives are on Israel's side. The Democrats are on Iranian side, basically. Some of the Democrats don't realize that they're on the Iranian side, though, because they're so against Israel. And they're just about money making in Washington, D.C. So that's what that's what you can expect from them, But this is all coming in now, and there's going to be huge repercussions from it. It's not. I don't think Netanyahu's going to just back off and say, I think I learned my lesson. Yeah, no. All it takes is someone to tell them, we should attack, and it's going to go back and forth until Biden's out of office, and someone can come in and say that's enough. If it were me, I'd come in, and if I were Trump, I'd go in. I'd say, okay, next person that does anything, we're going to cause a catastrophic disaster. How do you like that? That's how you get this to stop. Okay, when people know that strong men are in office, they never try this. Okay, so elections do have consequences. Now, a lot of innocent people have died. A lot of innocent people have died since Biden's been in office. It's so crazy. They're talking about Trump with the pandemic. Look, Biden's got all sorts of crime happening. There's soft on crime policies. People getting shot on the streets. People robbing and stealing and doing all sorts of crazy. You just turn on YouTube. It's wild, man. A lot of crazy stuff's been happening. Wars, you got, lots of these are kids that are dying in these wars also. These are not like adults. They can't send adults like my age, 40 some years old, because we're too smart. A lot of us have already figured out the games that they're playing. When they send these 18-year-olds out to war, they don't even know each other. They have no idea why they're fighting for my country. They're out there just blowing other people up that they don't even know. It's sad. It's very sick and demonic, if you ask me. We shouldn't be at war with anybody. We got enough resources here. The globalists got us, the elites got us thinking that, we're running out of resources. We need, we got to have oil here. We got to have oil there. We got, gotten us fighting over oil, fighting over land, territory, and religion, and all this other stuff. When we don't have anything to do with it. The United States has nothing to do with what they want to do. All right. So we got to protect ourselves. The only way that I would fight a war is if we were under attack here in the United States. I'm in better shape than a lot of teenagers. I tell you that. 18-year-olds, we can go and move a lot smarter than those guys because they have no clue. They're babies. I would never send my kids to war because when you understand what's going on in the backdrop, you're not for it. It's just not the answer. Like the old song says, war is not the answer. It's not the answer. All right. Peace is the answer. When everybody can coexist, without blowing each other up. Kids are getting blown to pieces, beheaded. Like all these things would not have happened if Trump was in office. They just wouldn't have happened, bro. I don't care what the libs say. All right, they can melt down into wax. I don't care. This stuff would not have happened if Trump was in office. Bottom line. Strong men, respect him. We saw that. All these Saudi princes, the Korean president, Kim Jong-un, they all respect Trump. All right? Xi Jinping, all these people respect Trump on the world stage because they know he's not a joke. They know he's not bluffing about what he says he's going to do. So that's what they respect. All right? They don't respect Joe Biden because he's like your old grandfather. You just make fun of him. He falls asleep and you paint his face or something. Like that's Beijing Biden. But, you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Are you for war or are you against it? Like, what do you think? Do you all think that we should be going to war with, or do you all think that we should be funding wars? Do you think that we should help the Ukraine? And do you think that we should help these causes? I don't. But, you get a chance to throw your comments in there. Like, share, and subscribe. This has been Yup, I Said It. Till next time, guys.